Hello, I am at some very flash hotel in South Tyrol, in Italy, in the Dolomites, to test the new PInarello Dogma. A bike that we've already seen teased at the Dauphiné. So without further ado, let's delve into this video. I'm going to throw a leg over the bike, do a fantastic loop round here. I'll give you the lowdown on what's what with the bike, what's new, what's changed. Right, let's crack on. Right, before we get out, let's delve into what's new with the latest Dogma, because there's quite a bit new and not loads new at the same time. You'll understand in a minute. Let's start with the looks, because it is slightly different. It's slimmed down. Those tube shapes, that head tube, are all narrower, skinnier, slimmer, apart from the bottom bracket, which is massive now. And that's saying something, because the old bottom bracket was big. Well, in fact, it was apparently the stiffest bottom bracket on the market. Weight has been dropped as well, something like 125 grams. And they've done that by using a new carbon, or at least a new carbon to the Dogma. It's the Toray M40X. A carbon that they did used to use on the Dogma X Lite models, which had a rider weight limit, and they've been able to use it on this new bike but not have a strict rider weight limit. Just like the old Dogma, it's not an aero bike, it's not a climbing bike, it's a mishmash of the two. As I said, all the tubes have slimmed down, including the head tube, and inside that head tube, the steerer tube's different. It's ovalised. It's been designed not just to be a bit stiffer, but also to allow routing of the internal cables to be a lot easier. Now, instead of it going down the side, it goes down the front. The forks slimmed down, and not as wavy as the old one, thankfully. And it's got a new rake. Instead of it being 43, it is 47 millimeters. Integrated seat clamp. It's a minor upgrade, and one that's going to have me questioning whether it's mechanically sound or easy to play about with, but it's all integrated. It looks very slick, but they're using, I think it's a T25 for you to be able to adjust it, which is a funny old size, isn't it? There is new bars as well, a new talon bar, and these things are narrow. We've got a flare of about 6 degrees on them now. They are proprietary to the frame, even more so than normal because of that ovalised steerer tube. And they've designed them so they go with the modern trend of not just being super narrow, but also allowing you to tilt your shifters in, which I've slowly come around to and swear by now. It's definitely better on the wrists. Price-wise, well, if you're watching this, you know it's going to be expensive, and I'm probably hoping you're sitting down, but it's about 14.5 grand. Oh, and if you're thinking, is there still a rim brake version? No, but we have been told there is plenty of inventory of the old Dogma with rim brakes. So shall we get out on the bike and check it out? Right, Italian, right, we're off for the test ride. Weather's looking a bit dicey. It could rain, which could mean we could be the only people ever outside the pro peloton to ride a Dogma in the rain, which is understandable when they're about 12-15 grand. You want to get it wet, would you? Oh, and also, fella over there, that soft lad who's not riding, Luke Rowe. He claims 13 years of being a pro. He's done his duty in the rain. We'll let him off. There's something you don't see every day. A dirty Dogma. Following car for the day, we've got the DS working hard. Is this your choice of tunes? Right, let's continue. Let's see how this thing handles downhill. Hairpins galore. Right, first impressions of the descending. I had this in my hand for quite a chunk of it, and the bike is pretty damn confidence inspiring. It goes where you want it to go. There we are, top of the second climb. Climbing prowess, he's definitely got it. One thing I'm not 100% sure of so far is the bars. They feel narrow, these are 42, and they feel like a 36. So it does make climbing different. And just as we hit the top, the hail begins. Perfect timing. I better put the camera away. It's quite a fast descent. Right, got us back safe sound. That was one hell of a ride. The last descent, superb. It was the only smooth road, or the only smooth descent in the whole of the ride. Right, I'm gonna go and have a warm shower because I've had a cold shower for the past couple of hours. Then we'll talk about the bike. All right, let's round this review up. And please do remember though, people, this is a first ride review. I've only done about 60k on it. Admittedly, about 1700 meters of climbing and in very, well, crappy weather. But I've got a good idea of how it performs. But let us start first with reminding ourselves what this bike actually is. And it is an out and out race machine. It has been designed for the Ineos guys. It has been designed for the fast folk amongst us. If you're watching this video and thinking, I fancy that, but I go out on a Sunday and out during the week for fast but leisurely rides, then maybe go and check out the PInarello F series. I tested that about 18 months ago when it came out, really liked it, and I would say that's the bike for 95% of people who want to go out on a road ride and be fast. It's comfortable, it's rapid, it doesn't actually look as good as a Dogma, but that's another story. Right, let's delve into the negatives first. Let's get them out the way. For starters, I did not like the handlebars. It says they're 42 that I was riding, but they felt ridiculously narrow, even in the drops. On the tops, even more so. So I would recommend, if you are going to buy this bike, check the handlebar sizing first, because I would say go up a size, unless you are looking for those super aero gains. Also, along with me not liking the narrowness of the bars, I wasn't too keen on the tops either. It felt a little bit square, a little bit chunky, but obviously that is just personal preference. I did like the flare, I did like the depth of the drops, but the thing is with the handlebars, you're not going to have a choice on what you're going to be able to use on the bike because of that overlay steerer tube. This is a proprietary bar and stem system with that match that overlay steerer tube. One good thing about that overlay steerer tube though is your stem's never going to be off by a couple of millimeters. It is always going to be dead straight. Next thing that I wasn't 100% keen on was when climbing out of the saddle with those narrow bars, it makes things really, really, well, twitchy. You don't get the nice flow to it. Something that I probably complain about with a lot of bikes. Right, next thing I wasn't keen on with the bike, and it was the build, or more to the point, those wheels. My God, are they harsh. If you're going to get one of these bikes, I would recommend going for the DT, because this bike isn't exactly compliant. It's a bike that has been developed with a ton of data that has come from Grand Tour riders. Geraint Thomas, over 21 stages, they've taken as much information as they could have from him throughout the 2022 Tour de France to input into how this bike should perform, and that includes how comfortable it should be. And what you must remember is at the Tour de France, when the stage comes to visit your local town, the council usually get out the tarmac and make things that little bit smooth. So yeah, I'm thinking there's maybe a misstep there made by Pinarello with regards to the data that they've gathered. Usually you can smooth that out by putting 32mm tyres in there, but the bike is designed to take 30s or below. I did ask Fausto why this was, and he says, well, 30mm tyres are the optimum high performance tyre sizes. Right, onto the good stuff. Like I said, there wasn't that many bad bits about it, but onto the good stuff. And it rides really nice. Even though it is a little bit harsh, it doesn't beat you up. And we were on some really terrible roads. It's not comfortable, but it's not harsh. It basically smashes through the rough surfaces. And while smashing through those rough surfaces, it does not waver off the line you want it to go. This thing is precise. The handling on this thing is lovely. Downhills, I was filming one-handed a lot of the time, got the old GoPro out, and it just still inspired confidence. With two hands on the handlebars, it's an absolute delight to descend on. If you've got a ton of power to put out, this thing is, well, apparently the stiffest bike on the market. It climbs nice enough as well. It is not a pure climbing bike. This thing is, well, a mix of aero and climbing. it doesn't feel like it kicks underneath you like, well, my favourite climbing bike, the Orbea Orca OMX, but it still climbs really nice. They've balanced all the properties very well. And what I like about this bike, and what I didn't like about many Pinarellos in the past, well, pretty much since I started playing about with the carbon Dogmas, is that it's good looking. The old ones that Sky and Movie Star used to ride, well, let's not say turn my stomach, but I really didn't like them. They've come to a point now where I think this bike's pretty damn handsome. And it's something that the owner, Fausto, hammered home quite a lot in the presentation. He didn't want to just make a bike that was high performance. He wanted to make a handsome, good-looking bike, something that stands out, and I think it does. It's a high-performance race bike, that's all you need to know. At this price point, it should be good, and it is. Right, I think that's all you're going to get from me. I could keep rambling about it, but I'll do that in an article instead. Let us know what you think of the bike in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube. If not, hit us up via the social media channels. And as always, thank you for watching and enjoy your riding.